All right, welcome back to Can't Tell Me Nothing podcast, man. It's a new day, but same old shit, because I think FDA approved or not, ain't going to convince anybody.
What about? I would hope it would have. Wow, I can't talk. I would hope it would convince most people, because a lot of people that I talk to who are anti-vax would be like, I'd be like, well, what's your main reason for not taking it? They'd be like, well, it's not FDA approved. So I mean, now they don't really.
Well, it's only Pfizer. It's only Pfizer. So Moderna.
Well, I'm Pfizer gang anyway, so.
I'm Moderna gang. It's fine. I don't really care. I take a lot of things that isn't FDA approved. Nothing new here.
That's probably true.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people that take things that are not FDA approved. But when it comes to this subject, apparently FDA approved matters a lot. So, anything? Probably not going to change, huh? Same old bullshit.
Nah, I doubt people. I doubt it. I mean, I think it's going to. No, actually, I think more people are going to take it now, because now that it's FDA approved,
yeah,
like how I just said, the military is going to basically mandate it.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is?
A lot of places are going to start doing that.
Because it's FDA approved, it gives them the leverage
to
mandate things.
You can't say it's an experiment no more. You can't say, oh, there's bad stuff in it, because, I mean, you can say what you want about the FDA and CDC, but they wouldn't approve it if it was shit in there that's going to kill us.
Right. You know what?
But then people are going to say, well, you're a follower. You really believe that they're not killing you? Yeah, I would hope that they're not.
Right.
I'm gonna assume that they're not.
You know
I'm gonna go with that for 500.
I don't really
hope that the government's not killing me, man.
I don't really trust like the WHO organization or the CDC as much, but I was just kind of doing some dive on like FDA, and I was just like I was just searching like for lists that are like not FDA approved, right? But while I was doing the research, I find that the FDA site are like not approving a whole lot of things that I personally, not saying drugs or anything like that, but like raw eggs or like, like just like
shit,
food
sushi
stuff.
probably even on there. I eat sushi all the time.
Yeah, like food stuff. And I'm like, yo, y'all are too fucking safe. Like, I like my eggs runny.
Well, the whole point is so that I don't know so much how it goes, so let me not act like I know everything. But the whole point is, so with that information, if you see it, you could do what you want with it. So like if you see that this stuff isn't approved and you're still taking it, unless it's like illegal to get, then you're doing it at your own risk pretty much.
Yeah. So
it's like they're not liable.
I say that because there's the argument of like, oh, well, they fucking paid the FDA off, and the FDA can just, because I'm sure those people are like, it's not FDA approved, and then one's just FDA approved.
Well,
I mean, the FDA are probably.
That's the same people that get their fucking news from Hollywood Unlocked on Instagram. I'm not.
Exactly.
I can't.
Oh my God.
If that's where you're posting all your news from, then I'm not gonna waste my time.
Speaking of Hollywood Unlocked, I sent you that fucking video, right?
Yeah, about the doctor. Yeah, I seen a whole bunch of people posting. I was like, I'm not even gonna waste my time.
We gonna die
in 3 years.
No. We gonna you might die in like 6 months, but you're probably gonna die in 4 to 5 years. It's like, wait, how do you go from 6 months to 4 to 5 years?
Is that what he said? He said, didn't he say like 6 months to like 3 to 5 years or some bullshit like
exactly.
that? Exactly. That's a weird ass gap.
That's a lot. What? Make no sense.
If I die in the next 5 years, I at least hope I win the lotto and could give it to like my daughter before I die. At least let me get that off.
Right, but it's just wild because he came out. He's like, I got a PhD. I'm like, all right. I mean, it's just a PhD.
He prefaced the bullshit.
Yeah.
With his PhD. I wish I could do that.
It's just a PhD. Okay.
I'm gonna get a degree so I can start doing that.
And then you look him up, and he hadn't really wrote anything like verified or anything like that. It's a school board. First of all, it's a fucking school board. Who the fuck goes to a school board?
Damn, he was at the PTA meeting.
My God.
He was talking to parents.
And then, like, people ate that shit up. And I'm like, he's out of Ohio. Oh, bro, buttfuck Ohio. At a school board meeting or Ohio board meeting, whatever the case might be. Just spreading bullshit.
I don't know how they let him get that off, to be honest.
I mean, it's freedom of speech. It's freedom of speech. You can say what you want to say, but I guess, there's come with a
sometimes
also,
there shouldn't be freedom of speech.
It's just like the people who were like, I told you so. I'm like, you okay? But you're gonna use him as your resource, as your source.
That's cool. I mean,
I told you so. People are gonna use those kind of shit with like datas that aren't really proven fact, and he hasn't really wrote an article with proven facts that came from us. See, here's the thing about college: it teaches you about sources, and when you write things, okay, when you write art,
you gotta have them sources.
when you write
That
things,
shit is all cappery.
it's the same thing as when you talk about things. So if you're gonna go on a board meeting or a presentation, or the case might be, you gotta state your source, okay, and you gotta state where the study you came from. The man didn't do any of that. He just kind of splurged out some shit, you know. And he said some shit that sounded fucking smart, but at the same time, you put it together, it made no fucking sense.
That shit made me so mad because when I sat there, like when you first sent it, I was like, I'm not looking at this bullshit. I was like, I'm not even gonna waste my time. But then I sat there and I looked at it and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give this man the benefit of the doubt. I looked at it and this nigga started bringing up the same shit, talking about the blood clots and all the same stuff they was talking about a year ago with the vaccine. I was like, all right, man. I was like, at this point, I don't even want to. I stopped listening at that point. Yeah. I was like, I'm not even gonna listen to the rest. There's no point because he's obviously just repeating the same. That's the thing. They repeat the same like,
scare. See this
it's
is
the same scare like facts or whatever. You're gonna get blood clots or I don't know what was the other one. You start having lung problems or something. Fam, I smoke. If I'm gonna have lung problems, I already have them. It's too late for me. So why would I be worried
exactly. But also
why would I be worried about this?
But also like for the reactionary people, like the same people who are like, oh my gosh, stop using COVID as fear mongering, but then endorses like anti-vax like shit. You're doing the same thing. You're like, one hand, you don't want the fear mongering COVID, but on the other hand, you're endorsing fear on COVID vaccine. Sure, it ain't nothing fucking perfect. COVID vaccine doesn't mean it's a fucking cure. Nobody said it was a cure to begin with. I hate the sentiment of like the vaccine should cure. It should have cured things. It should have been more accurate, more efficacy, and it. Bro, no vaccine ever promised you the fucking gold and grass is greener on the other side. No,
except for chicken pox.
Huh?
Except for chicken pox.
The chicken
pox.
You only
get chicken pox once, anyways. I think.
Yeah, you only get. I got that shit. It was bad.
I think you only get it once anyway. So I mean,
it was bad. Motherfucker left a lot of holes on my face. Seriously, it was bad.
This man was walking around looking like Crater Man.
Bro, I was looking around looking like all those fucking kids in a movie from a third world country with like natural sources disease. I'm from a third world country. So I literally fall in line with the image of a kid from a third world country looking like he got some major skin disease.
You're right. I'm going to let you get that off.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not really shitting on people from third world country because I was there.
When you say it like that, it just sounds so bad. But you good.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, going back to the COVID thing.
I mean, to me, I don't care no more because now that it's FDA approved, a lot of people who say they're not going to get it, your jobs is most likely going to require you to get it at this point. So, hey, man, more power to you.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not with the whole mandate thing.
More power to you, man.
I'm not with the whole mandate thing, but whatever it is, what it is at this point. Like, I don't know. I don't make the rules.
But, okay, but people say that and people forget that when we were kids, you had to get like all those tuberculosis, I think, hepatitis. Is it hepatitis?
Yeah.
Did you have to get it? Do we have to?
Do we need to get rabies shot, or is that like a dog thing only?
I think that's a dog thing.
That's a dog thing.
Tetanus. Tuberculosis, HPV. We have to get all those shots in order to go to school. So I don't know why people are acting like this whole mandating a vaccine is a new thing. I could be wrong, so let me not. Don't quote me on here, but I could have swore when the swine flu came out in middle school, we had to get that H1N1 shot in order to go back to school.
Yeah.
Like I remembered. I could be wrong, but like this is not the first time. So I don't get why people are feel like their rights are being taken from them because they're forced to get a shot.
And also, it amazed me that people believe in technology and people believe in like phones and all that, but yet people don't believe in science technology because they're always like the debate question is, or the excuse, or whatever the case might be, is like, oh my God, like it was too fast. There's no way you could develop.
Fam,
The
they've
thing
been
is,
developing this since 2002. How's it been too fast? It
yeah,
takes 20 years to develop a
but also, did
vaccine. Look at
nobody
the map.
mention nobody mentioned the fact that technology has fucking progressively gotten so much better.
Exactly.
Like our phones has 5G internet, and we
Fam.
can watch shit from
Fam,
anywhere.
it's people.
We're going to the moon back and forth.
People underestimate technology. It's 2021. Think about it. In 2010, you couldn't even FaceTime. That's only 10 years ago, and now you could FaceTime with your whole group of friends,
your
and
fucking phones recognize your face. Like
you can open your phone just by looking at it. So like, why do people?
I think those people
just need to say that they're afraid of needles and go and stop trying to push.
Yeah, man.
They just say you're afraid of needles. It's okay, man. I used to be afraid of needles too, and then I grew up.
Yeah, and then I started getting. I mean, it was like.
And then I became an adult.
And I was like, what is there to be afraid of needles?
Yeah, man. I used to be afraid of needles, and then I started doing drugs. Not needle drugs. Wow, that sounds bad. That sounds bad. Well, drugs, because drugs are bad.
Are you saying just marijuana?
Yeah, just marijuana.
All right, yeah, cool. We'll
go with that.
It's marijuana. Yeah, it's marijuana.
Nah, man. People are just afraid of needles. That's all it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. But I'm tired of it. I will make an effort to stay off, like besides this podcast, and we're going to speak about it, but I'm just going to stop.
Yeah, I try not to.
Looking at shit on social media anymore, or like reading into what people are saying. It's gotten a little toxic.
Yeah, I muted it on Twitter. I don't really see shit. I mean, no, I'm capping. I muted certain words because I still see certain shit about the vaccine, but the main shit I muted, like COVID-19, I think is muted. I think the only thing that I have unmuted is like vax.
Right.
Everything else is muted, so I don't even see it no more. So I just be chilling.
Somebody posted something like very fucking cool on my story, and it was just like a quote. It was like a conversation where a young person is talking to another person who's like 78 or something, and they're like, yeah, like how did you think of 2020 considering like you went through Vietnam War and all that? Like, is this like the worst year in the world? And like,
could be worse.
Things are never this isn't quite as good as it's supposed. All this shit, right? And then I think his response was like, you know what? Like, 2020 isn't that bad. I've been through the worst. I've seen the bad, and now I'm prepared for it. And what I've learned throughout my life, now being so much older and going through all those experiences, that like you judge the world based on the people around you, not the headlines. And it kind of amazed. It really opened my eyes because, like, to be honest, if we take the headlines out of our our life cycle, we take the news out of it, everything in our life is pretty much the same. You got your friends, and I have great friends like you, and all the guys. We're all the same. Nothing has changed. My family's great. I mean, we gone through some shit and up and down, but we lost some people, but that's just a part of life, and those are the things that you're kind of prepared for, and like what's to come and what's not to come. Mm-hmm. So it makes a pretty good point. So when he says like when I take the headline out of things, my life just becomes easier because nothing around me has changed. So I like that was the best.
Well, I mean, yeah, you gotta. It's basically saying like you gotta focus on your own personal life and stop being so worried about everything that's going on in the outside world, because you can't really control that. So you got to focus on the things in life that you can control.
Right. So when I saw that, I was like, that's a really fucking good point. And like, I've been a victim of it. I'm fucking reading into too much headlines, too much articles, maybe too much comments, but I think it's time to scale back. Maybe I needed for a while, a year of no Instagram back in 2017. That was great. Maybe I need to fucking do that.
Man, I've been thinking about deleting my Twitter.
I don't even have Twitter. I think Twitter is toxic as fuck. So I don't know.
Instagram is just as toxic. No.
Which one's worse? Twitter's or Instagram?
They both are just as bad.
Twitter's more words and Instagram's more pictures.
Yeah, Twitter's more words, so that's why it's more toxic. But Instagram is just as toxic. If you go look at the comments, sometimes the comments be hilarious. Sometimes the toxicity is funny, but a lot of times the toxicity that be in Instagram comments is.
But don't you feel with Twitter it's kind of like
should be tough sometimes, and they don't be talking to me. I be seeing how they be talking to people, how they be commenting on these people's pictures. Like,
right?
people are cruel.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean the only bad comment I left, I think, was on a Connor post, not his post.
I had
Something
seen,
about Connor post.
and that made me think about I've thought about that recently, like over the years when I used to troll on people's comments. Like, I try not to do that no more. Like, I might comment shit on comments on Instagram or whatever, but I try not to really, when it comes to celebrity, I try not to like leave no bullshit there.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
what is
I
the
don't
point?
really comment. I don't really comment.
What do I get? And I don't even like. I went through recently and my fault. I went through recently and like unfollowed celebrities. Like, I don't even follow celebrities I don't like.
Yeah.
Like, I follow some because I do want to always get that like other perspective.
Right.
But a lot of them I don't even follow no more because it's like, what is the point of me following you if when I look, all I want to do is just leave like a stupid comment? There's no point in me wasting my time leaving a hateful comment.
Right.